parts of the music, pieces to that can fail.
No, it's a.
You said it comes with a maintenance suggestion or maintenance manual?
Manual. But it's an arch culvert. It's HDPE. It's a heavy plastic. They can actually take direct wheel loads.
The driveway, have you decided what that is going to be comprised of?
It's pervious, crushed snow.
Is there anything else that could be done on the property to control the flow of water, like rain gardens, for instance, to capture any additional water? Is it necessary? Can you do that?
I mean, I don't think it's necessary. I think we've met the regulations. Obviously, we could have done it differently. I think this one, putting it into the ground, underground, there's less mosquitoes, I think there's less maintenance by just taking the roof runoff and directly discharging that as the cleanest water on site. So we chose to do it through the culture.
Just for education purposes, that Caltech system, is that an expensive investment in terms of construction?
Caltech is one brand, Infiltrator is another. I'm not sure any of them.
No,
It is.
just
They're used for septic systems. They're used for under parking storage of groundwater for the filter fabric or geogrid. I would say that the cost for that is probably about $10,000.
anybody else?
This runoff, to me, exceeds minimal impact of that environment. Can't get by that.
Richard, I can appreciate your point, but we have our town engineer's statement that the applicant has addressed not only previous concerns, but what the ordinance requires. And they're not required to stop the water from flowing to the neighbor's property. They're only required to keep it from flowing faster or have more come off the roof and flowing there. So the fact that they're actually mitigating a little bit, having the water go up the sides of the property should help to some extent the neighboring property. So I don't, I appreciate your concern that this is, if we had it to do over again in Jamestown, would we have allowed, steep slopes to be built on? Maybe not, but the ordinance is in place, and it seems to me that the applicant has done what they need to do. And we have our own town engineer supporting their application.
Mr. Brochu, if this structure floods out, causes a flooding on the house below, or on the houses below, where this water is going, would the town be liable for that? Would the town be sued for it?
I hesitate to comment on any potential town liability for a set of circumstances that
Well, we've
haven't
had
happened yet.
Mr. Jobin say that this is okay. We have a liability.
Well, I think Mr. Jobin said it complies with the ordinance requirements.
We feel that the revised stormwater control system appears to be able to accommodate the increase in runoff for a 10-year storm as required by the ordinance.
Years.
Richard, I'm not, obviously not your counsel, but I looked into that issue and did some research on it, because this is something that obviously comes up time and time again. Anytime you've got someone upstream that develops, could have an impact on people downstream. And the Rhode Island Supreme Court has said that the people upstream have a right to develop their land, as long as they take all reasonable measures to mitigate the effects downstream. So they should be deprived of the right to develop their land because it could impact downstream. That's the nature of being downstream. But they have to take all reasonable measures. And I would say that these are all reasonable measures at great expense to this applicant.
My difficulty is Mr. Jobin, but it appears to be okay and reasonable measures. In defining those two things is very difficult. And that's why I asked if we could possibly be held liable for doing something like that. I look at, as I say, I have, in the time I've been here looking at my groundwater, it's a subjective reality, but it is my reality, that this is one of the worst lots for mitigating.
I've actually seen it.
It's a terrible lot.
Not only will the town not be liable, but the owner of this lot will not be liable. So that's based on my own research that I did. But just thought you might be interested.
Any other questions for Mr. Carter, Mr. Brockman? Any other comments, discussion? At this point, why, correct me if I'm wrong, we're at this point where we can entertain a motion to make a recommendation. It's a recommendation only to the zoning board. And that recommendation should come with our findings, not just a motion, but findings supporting the end result. So if we're ready to make a motion, and the commissioner's going to make that motion, if they're prepared with findings, that would be terrific.
Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to just comment that I don't think it's required that the board have a consensus. Certain members differ in their opinion from other members. That can be the recommendation to the zoning board.
Somebody remind me what relief is being sought from the zoning board?
The relief sought is a special use permit pursuant to section 314. So the analysis done at the zoning board is whether the application requires or complies with section 314 and also the requirements of granting a special use permit. So it's a two-step analysis. And the zoning board looks to your recommendation. They're well aware that you had a meeting tonight with the applicant, and so they look for insight into you doing some of the groundwork. One of the goals of the zoning board is not to redo what you're doing here tonight. However, I do sit at the zoning board hearings, and I can tell you that they do have the applicant go through a full presentation again. And so they take your comments, recommendation, and that, not speaking for the zoning board, but I would say that becomes a basis for their inquiry into whether the project meets the requirements of 314 and the standards for granting a special use permit.
Would it be possible to synopsize those standards for the special use permit?
It's right, it's section 306, right?
306? Yes, I'm sorry to have to ask you, I should have looked that up.
Yeah, I think there are 4 or 5 bullets, Nancy, it's right in your manual, we just want to, and that's in 306.
It's very different than the variance standards. Essentially, as long as you're not creating conditions that are inimical to the health, safety, or welfare of the vicinity, then the special use permit is granted.
It's
My reading.
It's Article 6, Section 306.
Mr. Chairman,
That's my,
I'd like to make a motion to approve this and send it forward to the zoning board with the following findings of fact. That after listening to the expert witness testimony and the written testimony submitted by the town engineer, we find that it is in compliance with ordinance section 314 and in section 306.
okay, the motion's on the table, second? Second by Harry Holland. Discussion?